The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the show, Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with us. If you want to join the show, of course, you can go out to Facebook and download the JoyNet Radio app. Well, I should say go out to the website, joynetradio.com, and download the JoyNet Radio app, as well as you can download the podcast. We upload the podcast every day after the show, so you can stay up to date and in the know on what's going on with Black Focus Radio in and around the Central Arkansas area and around the country. Also, if you want to talk to me, 855-525-5683 is the number. Right off the bat, I want to congratulate Reginald Swinton for a great inaugural show on last night. It is called Wide Open with Reggie Swinton, and it talks a lot about, or mainly based on, youth football, youth sports, and youth football. So, it made a lot of sense. You hear a lot about AAU basketball. You hear very little about AAU football, and Reggie Swinton is doing a great job of putting teams together here in the the Central Arkansas area, and traveling all over the country. As a matter of fact, he was talking last night about him taking some kids where they're going to play a game in Jerry's World down in Dallas. So I remember as a kid growing up, being able to go on those types of field trips opened my eyes to a lot of different things that I probably would have never experienced. And you'd be surprised how many of these kids never leave their neighborhoods. So to be able to take those kids on those trips is fantastic. And I'll tell you the trip, although I traveled a lot when I was a kid, my mom would send me a lot of places. But I'll tell you the trip that really made a difference in my life, and that was Philmont. It really did. It was the Scout Ranch in Cimarron, New Mexico. It was fantastic. They take you out in the woods. They take you up in the mountains, and you have a compass, a backpack, a sleeping bag, and you're hiking back to base camp. And depending on how experienced you are, you're hiking back to they'll take you as far as 40 miles out up in the mountains. And the great thing about this is real, what we call in the scouting world, roughing it. Okay? This is real roughing it. So you basically live off the land. We had fishing poles. I remember I had my Zepco 202, black and white. Hey, Jackie, how you doing? Had my Zepco 202, and we had backpacks, we had sleeping bags, and we had to rough it back to base camp. And oh, by the way, you had to fish, ate a lot of trout. You had to, and then of course, you had supply camps along the way, but your itinerary may not necessarily take you by a supply camp. That supply camp might be 5 miles out of the way. So you had to send a couple of guys to go pick up supplies, and then they would meet you somewhere else along the trail, and that's how you ate. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great adventure. And I say all that to say that a lot of these kids don't get a chance to go places. And for the program, what Reggie is doing, where he's packing these kids up, putting them on buses, taking them to Dallas. I think they went to Seattle, Washington at one point. Those are fantastic trips that these kids will remember for a lifetime. I remember when I did Project C in Nashville, we packed up about 30 kids and took them to the Tennessee Black Caucus retreat in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And these kids had never been out of Cumberland View Housing Development. And fortunately, we got to give them their own hotel rooms. So they got to stay in their own. They had never stayed in a hotel. And for them to have, and some of them had their own beds. So, because some of them had, they had 6, 7, 8 brothers and sisters. So for them to have their own bed, it was the biggest thrills of their lives. So again, and I'm long on this, but I really respect anyone who takes time out to work with young people, and especially our people, because to open their minds to a world that they may never see, or that they only view on television or in books, to actually be able to see those things live, it opens up the minds in a different perspective that many would not do. So hats off to Reggie Swinton. And if you want to catch that show, it's every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on Joynet Radio. It is called Wide Open with Reggie Swinton. And you, of course, you'll be hearing the promos and things of that nature. Okay. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, as we do most days. There's just so much. There was an impeachment, an open up the impeachment this morning. We'll talk a little bit about that. I just want them to go and get on with the impeaching. That's what I want. Let's get this fool out of office as soon as possible. But also yesterday in a separate hearing, we'll talk about Christopher Wray, who is the FBI director, who finally acknowledged white supremacists. We'll talk a little bit about that. And I have a few recommendations, and these are not mine, but I had planned to talk about this a couple of days ago, and I thought they were great. It's a meme that's going around, and so I thought it would be great to discuss today. What would you recommend to police on fixing their reputation? I'd be curious to know. I have a few ideas. And Little Rock Students Sick Out had a huge response yesterday. I haven't gotten any exact numbers, but I've heard as many as 7,000 kids were out of school yesterday. Now, were they all out for the sick out? I don't know. But that's a significant amount of kids to be out of school for one day. And I'm just saying. Also, the governor wouldn't meet with the kids yesterday. But he's handpicked a few kids to meet with them in private. I don't know if I'm gonna let my kid go and meet with Asa Hutchinson if I'm the parent and I'm not gonna be there. I'm just not gonna do that. And by the way, Asa is still telling Little Rock residents to kiss his ass. I'm just being real with you. Don't get mad at me. Okay. So those are some of the things that we're gonna discuss today among. Apparently the Baltimore Sun, and I'll need to check this story. That's already been published, but if you didn't know about Corinne Gaines, she's got a $37 million award from Baltimore. And we're going to talk about that when I start talking about the police, because I think it's important for us to understand that when those awards are granted, that's coming out of the taxpayers' money. Okay? Y'all need to be aware of that. All right? But before we do anything, we got to do Black Facts. So let's go ahead and get that done.
Dynamic Black Facts. Our culture, our history, our people.
Now, I will tell you, this will be a long Black Fact. It is pre-recorded. It's audio. It is called the 1811 Louisiana Uprising. Okay? And there's a couple of reasons why this is important. Number one, this is to beat back those idiot so-called black revolutionaries who seem to believe that you can't tell these parts of history because it's about slaves. But yeah, you can tell these parts of history because I didn't know this took place until about 6 months ago. So someone has put some video and audio together. You can catch this on the Black Focus wall as well, and Black Focus radio wall as well. I think you will like this, all right? That's most important. And then number two, to debunk some of the myths that were put in textbooks, and that you even hear today, that slaves were okay with being slaves. Now you tell me what human being, regardless of his ethnocentricities, what human being would be okay to be chained like a dog, his women raped, and men raped, by the way, and sold off as chattel? Okay? I'm just saying. So that's what this is going to talk about. But I find it interesting that one of the biggest uprisings of 1811 was in New Orleans. Y'all are going to love this black fact. It's about 9 minutes, but it's well worth the listen. So check this out.
All resistant movements. Yes. From the brave warriors of the Bacon Rebellion, the Stono Rebellion, Nat Turner, to the ingenious plots of Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser. We're going to look at one of the largest movements, the Louisiana Uprising of 1811. And how they came very, very close in creating a black republic, a land of freedom, true democracy, and protection from European oppression.
Some just refuse to die. And so we would struggle and fight. We would continue to use our language when they weren't looking. We would continue to remember our customs. I'm an African, I'm a God, I'm a Shanti, I know who I am. They won't take me from me. Some of our people say you will not take my identity. In fact, proof would just say, I'd rather die and have no respect and be a slave and a servant to you. And so they said, no, I'm gonna beat this out of you. Because we were rebellious, we didn't want it. They said, what's your name? And then a black man would say, my name, I'm a Shanti. He said, you are nigga. He said, I'm God. I'm Wolof. You'll never change me. And many of our ancestors died fighting, never accepting anything less than being proud, productive African people.
Indeed, we fought the entire time. And nothing testifies to this statement more than the armed resistance movement by the enslaved Africans led by Charles Dessalines. In order to truly grasp the brave attempt of our ancestors, we need to understand that there were 3 ways of resisting capitalistic slavery. Running away to territories like Canada, becoming a maroon, living in the swamps and surviving off of the wildlife, and carrying out raids on the plantations to free up others. Number 3, overthrow the state, overthrowing the dictatorship of the slave-holding class. All forms of resisting European imperialists in this capitalistic slave society was extremely dangerous, but the most daring and noblest, a combative, daring, direct approach of overthrowing the old oppressive machine, taking away the land from the slave owners without compensation, and turning the land over to be controlled and owned by the true tillers of the land. This is what revolution is: the removing of one class of power and replacing it with the new class or new coalition. And that's just what our brave ancestors of Louisiana attempted in 1811. To accomplish this, Dessalines' strategy was a 2-pronged military attack on the city of New Orleans. One prong of the attack was for the enslaved Africans joined with the maroon communities to move from plantation to plantation along the Mississippi River. They would first fight off the loyal slaves, then slay the slaveholders, and assemble an army as they moved down the river road. They would capture the city of New Orleans and make it the capital of the new republic. The other prong attack was to involve enslaved Africans inside of New Orleans. who would at the same time seize the arsenal at Fort St. Charles and distribute the weapons to the arriving slave army. Under Dessalon's directions, New Orleans would serve as the base of a liberated zone where slaves from all over the South could come to gain their freedom. Dessalon and his comrades began the uprising with two slogans: "On to New Orleans," and "Freedom or death." There were no promises. There were no guarantees that it would work. But under this tyranny, it was better to fight than to die under their oppressive rule. Late that evening on the German coast, about 26 miles outside of New Orleans, the uprising began.
Here at this spot, this is the former Colonel Manuel Andrews plantation, then called the City of the Flowers. On this land, about 4,000 acres, the rebels had as their objective to capture New Orleans, to build an independent black republic. It was a powerful revolt involving over 500 Africans from 50 different African nations.
Starting at the Audrey plantation, enslaved Africans traveled all night and throughout the day, marching from plantation to plantation, killing slave owners.
Here is the grave of Francois Trepanier, who was one of the most brutal and oppressive slave owners. What's written on his gravestone is very significant. It's written in French. I'm going to read it and translate it. It says, "In memory, Francois Trepanier, killed by the slaves of 1811. February 10th, 1811. One would ask, why would he put this on his tombstone? He put this on his tombstone, the U.S. militia and his family, as a means to make him hero. But it backfired. Because every time we bring people here on this tour, people rejoice. They rejoice in the fact that some of these oppressors were taken out.
The next day, under the leadership of Manuel Audrey, a territorial militia of roughly 80 men went to attack and take down the African army. But they were outnumbered and defeated. So General Wade Hampton was then dispatched to New Orleans along with the U.S. troops. No, he wasn't dispatched to stop the slave owners and others from exploiting, torturing, raping, killing our ancestors. Nope, he wasn't dispatched to ensure freedom and democracy for all people under this fairly new constitution. No, those proud American patriots under the banner of the red, white, and blue marched in to end any hope of democracy for our ancestors and to place them right back under the oppressive rule of the slave owners and the white power structure. Governor Wade Hampton's army, together with Major Milton at Destrehan Plantation, being well armed, was able to stop the uprising. Some of the leaders were captured, placed on trial, and executed. Their heads were cut off and placed on poles for more than 60 miles along the river in order to frighten and intimidate the other enslaved Africans. So the question is this uprising just like so many others in America? Was it successful? Absolutely. They did not achieve their goal of creating a true democracy, but it did show future generations to resist and continue fighting when your civilization is being attacked. Later that year, the Africans rose up, and this was followed in 1812 by a new round of plots and revolts inside the city of New Orleans. Over the next several decades, the resistance escalated until finally the children and the grandchildren of the 1811 revolutionary Africans would triumph and defeat the dictatorship of the slaveholding class in the Civil War. Understand that when any African, whether enslaved or free, fought to liberate themselves, seek land, and come from under European oppression, it jeopardized the very wealth system of what Europeans were creating with this exploitation. And this meant death. So yes, any revolutionary African that put forth an effort to create change by simply having the audacity to fight is considered a success in my book. and all of our ancestors that died trying to create a better situation for themselves and future generations, which includes you and I, deserves our honor and our respect.
Keep listening to Black Focus Radio for more dynamic Black facts, our culture, our history, our people. Until never.
And if you would like to sponsor Dynamic Black Facts, give me a call at 615-554-0568. Uh-oh. Wait, troublemaker.
I just want to know, is that a suit Robert got on?
Yeah, and it's Dallas colors too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he got on cowboy boots.
Oh. Wow. I didn't notice those, Robert.
Yeah, he gonna be with some white people today.
Is that what? Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he wear
Uh-huh.
no socks when he come in.
Yeah. Yeah, and wrinkled shirts.
Yeah. Well, when you gonna meet with Mr. Charlie, you
Yep.
gotta reach in the back.
I just thought about
Ain't
that.
that something?
Yeah, we just nobodies, huh, Robert?
Y'all wrong.
We just nobodies.
Y'all wrong.
And I was about to say something nice about you too.
Y'all wrong.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
But yeah, okay. But yeah, Robert's in the house. And by the way, someone asked that we heard from the interns. I think that was Jackie. Jackie, what you don't know is Jemiah, she does all of the broadcast for Little Rock Central. She's the producer. Okay, so just for your FYI. And by the way, while I was out of town this past weekend, Jemiah, if you listen to any of the station on Saturday during the Cornbread Festival, Jemiah was the producer for that as well. So, and she's getting rave remarks. I must say the person who trained her must have been pretty damn good.
Well, thank you, Dave.
You know, I'm just saying. You know. But anyway, if you want to sponsor Black Facts, that's a great Black Fact. Simply because, see, the lies that we've been told, even black people saying that stupid stuff, that black folks didn't fight back, that Africans captured in slavery didn't fight back. That's one of the most ridiculous and bald-faced lies I've ever heard in my life. And even though before I actually did research on it, I knew that was a lie when I was a young person years ago when they'd say stupid stuff like that. What man wouldn't fight for his freedom? Come on now. All right, but anyway. Hey, Robert, how you doing today?
I'm here, bro.
Well, you all gussied up and stuff. You got a hot date?
Nah, I went to court.
You did?
Yeah, I had to go to court again. I mean, I didn't have to go.
Oh, okay. Well, you practicing to be an attorney or something?
You're funny.
I was just
No,
saying.
actually,
You look cute. I'd date you if I were a woman.
I look cute. That's right. I can't cuss you on the radio.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we'll get an idea of why you went to court today. You looking all spiffy and stuff. So you should have
And I
known.
want to give a shout out to Russ. He didn't get kicked out today. Way to go, Russ.
Well, you know, he was on the list yesterday, which was really weird to me. But just a quick story. Yesterday, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, said that violent, racially motivated extremists in the U.S. are connecting with foreign extremists with them traveling abroad to train. Now, do I understand that now the FBI is finally recognizing white supremacists as terrorists? Do I understand that?
I don't think that's what they're saying.
Oh, I was just wondering, because you do realize that there is no such thing as a domestic terrorism law.
No.
I didn't realize that until I saw this on the news the other day. So domestic terrorist, if you're a terrorist, it shouldn't matter whether you're foreign or domestic, right?
I agree with that.
So what occurs is that you have specific laws that govern terrorists if they are foreign, but you have no laws in America that govern terrorists who are domestic.
Well, in America, they're all domestic.
Well, that's
But
just-
but again, man, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah,
it's well, I just thought I thought that was interesting for that to come out yesterday, simply because they've been in denial for so long, and if they don't wake up, there's something bad going to happen. I just, I just got a feeling. I really, really do about that. We had planned to look into the AM, this article with Black Enterprise that's come out again about the AME Church and black banks. I have not heard any follow up to this article, and someone reposted it today on my wall, and this was posted in January, and we talked about it last year, July of 2018. But apparently the AME Church back then, after their conference, had said that they were going to start investing in black banks, a la taking their money out of white banks and putting it in black banks. Now, if they're doing that, I have not heard anything about that. So that's something that we need to follow up on. Just a couple of other things. I posted some pictures about different statues from India to Mexico and Egypt. If you'll go and look at those, what do they all have in common? Robert, would you like to look at them?
No, I would not.
Why not?
Because I don't want to see those statues. I'm not in a really good mood right now. So
Robert,
I'm gonna cool off and then
well,
I'll
that's
let
why
you-
I'm doing this, so
Okay,
you can
go
cool
ahead,
off,
go
but you still need to participate. Now, come on.
Nah,
Come on.
I want to get suspended from class.
Now, come on, Robert. See, that's the one from India.
We looked at those already.
No, we haven't. That's the one from India. See that one? Notice the nose is gone, but look at the hair. That's the one from Mexico. Look at that nose. And that's the one from Egypt. Look at that nose.
I don't know if you know it, man, but they say in African culture, the bigger the nose, that's like a royalty. The bigger the nose is, yeah.
Yes, I know. So I was just wondering. Oh, and by the way, I was reading an article this morning where they found an untouched tomb of an heiress in Egypt, and they showed pictures of it, and lo and behold, guess what color the pictures were?
They were in black and white?
They were brown people. They were brown-skinned people.
Hold on. So they found pictures?
Well, they found statues and stuff like, and hieroglyphics and paintings of the people of that time, and all of them were painted brown. Now, what has always confused me about this, when those light-skinned Egyptians try to claim that they don't have an African heritage, or they didn't begin by Africa, is that if I'm gonna take a picture of me, that's tantamount to me taking a picture and then getting on Photoshop and bleaching my skin out. Would I do that? So my point being is that if those people were not black, why would they paint pictures of themselves looking to be black?
That's a very good question, David.
I'm just, that's that Spock logic that always bugs me for some reason. That's,
And unfortunately, Grasshopper, I can't answer that question.
so I'm just saying. Anyway, 855-525-5683 is the number. So did you get an official number on how many kids cut school yesterday?
The news said 3,414.
I saw as much as 7,000 yesterday.
Yeah, but nobody's produced those numbers. So
Right.
the number is 3,414.
So if you're saying 3,414, and those are, I'm assuming, high school students, because that 7,000 number was included other schools as well, the article that I read yesterday evening. But if you're saying that 3,000, what was it,
3,414.
3,400 kids from high schools, that's over half of the high schools. That's pretty damn impressive.
No, I don't think it's half the high schools.
There's only 6,000 kids that are high schools, according to the article I read.
You got four high schools.
But there are a total of 6,000 kids.
6,000 high schoolers?
High schoolers.
That's the number they gave?
Yes.
Okay. And they're saying that 3,000?
3,400 were absent yesterday. Now, the article didn't say if it was specifically about the sick out, but I would argue that I would say 98% of them probably were. So to have that many kids out of school, That's a huge statement.
Yeah, that's pretty significant.
So you need to eat a little crow.
Who, me?
Yeah, because you poo-pooed the kids the other day.
No,
You
I
said
didn't poo-poo the
you
kids.
said it was going to be like 25.
Well, what troubled me the most about the whole thing was
You need to applaud the kids. Don't try to
I'm not-
we don't
I
need
don't
a
have
political
any- I don't
answer.
have-
Just say congratulations to the young people who stood up for public schools in Little Rock. That's all you got to say. We don't need a political answer. We
need
just
political answer.
we just need you to congratulate because you poo-pooed on them. You dropped a big wad on them talking about it's gonna be like 22 of them and they ain't gonna show up and so.
No, I didn't say that. Let me rephrase so we can all understand what I said. No representation from Jay Fair or McClellan from what I was told. So you got people now who are starting to give you feedback, and what they're saying is that there was no representation from Jay Fair or McClellan from what I was told. Now we don't know how true it is. They said they had 200 and some people from McClellan and 254 from McClellan and 100 and something from Hall. So.
But that's a pretty good number. You have to admit to that, right?
I think it was fantastic, but again, I also think that it was really a waste because you had Anika there, and it wasn't about. Was it about her? Why was she there? I thought it was the kids thing.
I don't know what difference would it
Well,
make?
it makes a lot of difference because I think those kids went down to have their voice heard, right? And if she was there, then did she coordinate the whole thing? I mean, what was her purpose for being there? Because if the kids went down to have a conversation with the governor about their education, then it should have just been the kids there.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. The governor did handpick some kids they're supposed to be meeting today. I don't want my kids talking to the governor without adults.
Wow.
I just don't. I don't trust him.
Okay. That's cool. I get that.
I'm not trying to be
No, I get-
facetious.
no, I
I
get
just
that.
don't.
I get that.
I could see him. I could see him browbeating them, intellectually browbeating those kids. Because if you really want to have a meeting, why do you do it in private, Governor? Why don't you let the media in so we can record it?
Well, because again, this man has nothing to gain.
You're going exactly where I'm going.
I don't blame him. I
You know,
pick him too. I have no reason
so
to talk to him.
in my feed, I mean, in the tease, what did I say? The governor has told Little Rock residents to do what? What have I been saying now? To kiss his ass again. He doesn't care, okay? He doesn't care at all. So he can handpick, and people say, oh, well, see, the governor is meeting with the students. It's insignificant. He doesn't care. That's the bottom line on that. And until the protesters get this in their head that you have a governor and a Republican Party backed by Walmart, Stevens Incorporated.
Okay, let's back up. Okay?
And let me finish my point here because I'm on a roll. Just break out the butter. Until you understand that the governor is backed by Stevens Incorporated, the Chamber of Commerce, you are not going to get anything done. And until you start affecting their pocketbooks, you're not going to get anything done. So you can march, you can sing We Shall Overcome, you can sing We Done Overcame. It don't matter.
Okay.
You got to affect their pocketbooks.
Hold on 1 minute. How did we get into this situation?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Yes, it does. How did we get into this situation? Why are we in this current situation?
I'll say, based on what it happened before I got back, but complacency.
So complacency is how we got here.
Right, because nobody really thought the governor would do what he's doing.
Okay.
From based on what I've seen and heard. No one thought that he would do what he's doing, even trying to decertify the union. If you understood politics, you should have seen this coming because this has been happening in Republican-dominated states all over the country.
Let's go back there.
But unfortunately, the lack of leadership in this city and this state was asleep at the wheel.
So, what, Dave? Let's go back because I think it's really interesting.
Y'all get mad at me all you want. I don't care.
I like what you just did. That was great. So, Dave, tell me again why the district is in its current situation.
Because of complacency.
What started this, Dave?
Well, what started it was the man that we're honoring right now, and that was John Walker, when the school board became predominantly black, from what I understood.
Okay.
Okay?
But what did they say? What was the state's rationale for taking over the district in the
This
first
district
place?
was failing.
Okay. And the district is failing, then what does that mean? That means who's failing?
That means your kids are failing.
Okay. Now let's have this conversation.
Okay?
Let's have this conversation. You ready? Mm-hmm. So since January 28th of 2015, have you heard anybody talk about kids? Other than yesterday when they went down to the Capitol?
No.
So if the issue here, if the real issue is kids failing, right? Then why are we talking about this other shit? I mean, all this other stuff. Why do we even have to discuss it? Because the real issue around the district is kids failing. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about kids not being successful in the classroom. We have yet to have a conversation about kids not being able to read on grade level. We've yet to have a conversation about kids who are falling through the cracks and what we can do as a community to fix it. We have yet to have that conversation. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then why would I care about him not talking to them? Why would that be important to me? Because I don't give a damn whether he talks to y'all or not. The thing I want right now is I want kids to thrive. How do we make that happen? That's the conversation nobody's had. When I say nobody, I mean nobody. How do we make sure kids are thriving?
Well, again, that conversation is not being had because you don't have the leadership who understands the problem. And then you're Johnny come lately trying to fix the problem. That's the problem in this city, is that, as I said yesterday, you are reactive as opposed to proactive. Therein lies the problem of this city, the problem of this leadership, and to be totally honest, the problem with the black community across this country is that we wait until things are done to us before we want to get together and fix it. And then when we try to fix it, we still don't come under one accord because we're too busy trying to decide who came up with the idea to fix it or who's going to lead the charge. All of that crap. And while we're doing that, they're running rings around us. That old saying, while we're playing checkers, they're playing chess. That's what they've been doing. And until we're really ready to fight, really fight, then this is going to continue. This is really about us. Because as I've said over and over again, we have the power to shut this city down financially. But we won't do it. Because the only thing they understand is money. They don't understand anything else. They don't understand you praying. They don't understand your thoughts. They don't understand your marching. The only thing they understand is when you start affecting my bottom line, that's when I'm going to start listening to you. Because that's the only clout you have. You don't have any political clout because you vote like wild weeds. You vote here and there. You don't have any way to vote that's going to affect them, but the only way you can affect them is with your pocketbooks. But you all refuse to do that, and they're going to continue to run roughshod over you. That's the bottom line on it. Now, you want to solve the problem? You always say, well, nobody tells us how to solve the problem. We talk about it every damn day just about on this show. Start spending your money with black kids, black businesses. Start sending your kids to black colleges, and I guarantee you this mess will change. But until you decide to do that, brothers and sisters, stop complaining. Because these marches ain't helping nobody. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me all you want. That's why I told you. I got a bad back, so I ain't marching for you anymore. And even if my back wasn't bad, I still wouldn't be marching because the bottom line is that we have no leadership. We are a rudderless boat in a hurricane with no motor and out of gas. We're subject to the whims of the white political system. And you all seem to be content to be okay with that. So if you're content to be okay with that, shut the hell up. I ain't trying to be mean to you. I ain't trying to disrespect anyone who's trying to get stuff done out here. But it's time for us to stop this, wait until something happens to us, and then let's fix the problem. That's too late. That's why this governor ain't going to talk to you. He don't want to talk to y'all. He's decided what he's going to do. Y'all should have been there in the beginning. Now it's too late.
Well, you can't have a conversation if you don't talk about the issues. And the issues are the schools were failing, right? If the schools were failing, let's talk about how kids were failing.
If they were truly failing.
Well, let's think about it though. So if the high schools were failing, right? Because they said it was 3 high schools. So for your high school to fail, that means that your elementary, your junior highs, I don't know how they do it now, but your junior highs and your elementaries have to be failing too. So where do you fix it at? Because you can't fix it at the high school level.
Exactly, because that's too late.
There's something below you have to identify.
So that means that you're not doing proper funding.
Something.
So
why are we not having these conversations?
Right.
Why are we talking about all this other stupid stuff?
So,
right? Because why are we talking about the other stupid stuff? I'm just asking, Dave. Why are we talking about this stuff that don't matter? We ain't talking about kids. We ain't talking about how they being educated. We ain't talking about none of that. What we talking about today is we talking about somebody ain't give me a damn meeting. How a meeting gonna make a kid read better?
Well,
I'm just curious, Dave.
Well,
because let me say something, Dave.
They got to plan the work and work the plan.
I'm tired of us we are always being abused and manipulated.
Yep.
On every level, from every front.
Yep.
Right now, we're still, because this has been going on for 4 years, and we have
It's actually been going on longer than that.
We have yet to have one meaningful conversation about kids and how kids learn and how we're going to improve their learning and how we're going to change the outcomes from some kids who are already in public schools based solely on their zip codes. See, this is how we always get screwed, because we allow other folks to take the conversation and walk down the damn street with it. I don't want to hear no more about no meetings. I don't want to hear no more about nothing else. All I want to hear about is we move forward, how kids going to be better. See, that's what we need to start doing, because this is how we always lose. We get caught in these dumbass conversations that don't make no sense. That's how we lose. Because, man, this conversation went down the street. It done went way down the street. And ain't nobody having that conversation. Sitting in court today, I bet if me and you started talking about court today, I guarantee you we drift off, right? And then we forget what the real issue was, because because there's so many issues that come into play. You with me? So what happens is that everybody starts talking about this one thing, and then pretty soon you so far down the trough, you done forgot why you really originally started this. Because let me tell you something, brother. Every time I'd like to think that I have kept myself informed all the way through. We've yet to talk about kids. We talked about everything. But we ain't had one single solitary conversation about kids and kids' outcomes. We have not had that conversation on any level with anyone at any time. We've talked about teachers. We've talked about buildings. We've talked about unions. Well, we haven't talked. Well, yeah, we talked about LREA. We talked about the State Board of Education. We've talked about everything. We have yet to address the real reason this happened. They said that the reason they took this district over because the district was failing. And if the district was failing, for your district to fail, that means kids are failing. But we're not having that conversation. We're not having that talk. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. So that leads me to believe one or two things. First, you're telling me that black kids don't matter because you're not having a conversation. And if you're telling me black kids don't matter, then that's even worse, because guess what? All these folks are coming up on the backs of poor black kids, and ain't nobody saying a word. That's what should be pissing people off right now. And I ain't heard nobody say that. I ain't heard nobody having these conversations. Everybody's sitting around pretty much talking about everything else. Ain't nobody talking about how these kids, because originally this whole thing was about schools failing. When schools fail, kids fail. Now, unfortunately, teachers don't fail because they still get paid. Kids just don't get what they need. But we're just having a real conversation. I ain't trying to call nobody out. I don't want nobody to get mad at me, be tripping with me later. I ain't trying to call nobody out. I'm just saying, for real, why are we not talking about kids? Why are we not talking about kids failing? Why are we not talking about how to improve kids' learning spaces and all that kind of stuff? There are no conversations around that at all. Not consistent. Okay, Dave, I'm done.
You okay now? You need a hug?
Nah, man, I'm just.
You all right?
Yeah.
Because if we're concerned about kids, then the primary people who should be concerned about our kids are us.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
But those conversations aren't being had, though.
Well, again, it goes back to leadership in our community. Because, see, my primary goal for my kids was I was going to take care of them. Those are mine. Okay, so we have to do that as a community. If each individual
So
parent,
now you say it's the parent. It's the parent.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
That's what you always say. Because you always go back and attack the parent.
My
Just stab him in the chest, Dave. Stab him in the chest, Dave. Stab him in the chest, Dave.
Stop it. I'm simply saying is that as a community, we have to be concerned about our own children. That means their welfare, their education. Okay, we have to have people that will. That was the whole mantra behind the Black Panther Party, is that hey, we're not just concerned about my individual kids, but we're gonna feed the whole damn neighborhood.
Right on.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that.
We as a black community must take on the attitudes of the Black Panthers when it comes to our children. Is that we're gonna educate them and we're gonna feed them. And until we can do that, this is going to continue. You're right. They're making money off of our kids because of the ignorance of the adults, even the so-called intellectual black adults, because we're too busy being fed at the trough ourselves, as opposed to saying, okay, we're going to create a nonprofit program where we're going to have a breakfast program, where we're going to have a coding program, where we're going to have a computer repair program. I'm going to be honest, there's no reason why those programs should not exist in this community, because there's money out there to do it. But you know what? Nobody wants to come together under one umbrella and say, hey, let's make this program work and not be concerned about
Nah, I'm with you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The Black Panthers, I mean, when you talk about the Black Panthers, there are, I mean, you can name 5 or 6 different Panthers. You see what I'm saying? It's not just one Panther. And not only that, there was one leader in one city. There was another leader in Chicago. There was another leader in North Carolina. There were different leaders who had different viewpoints, but they all understood the ultimate goal was to make sure that they empowered black children, because black children are our future. If you dumb down your children, you destroy their future. This is why they don't teach history. This is why they put our kids in remedial classes. It is up to us to go to those schools and demand that this is what my child is taking. Look, if your child is a senior in school and he's not taking advanced mathematics by now, you should be upset. This is on us. I refuse any further to expect white folks and this school system to educate our children. Now, fortunately for me, I don't have any children in the system anymore. But I made sure that when they were there, that I was going to follow up on their education, and I was going to send them to people that if I didn't know it, someone else knew. We got to take responsibility for our children, because we ought to know by now that this city does not give a damn. That's why I keep saying the governor a long time ago told y'all to kiss his ass. Y'all not hearing me. Okay, when somebody, if you out on the street right now, and somebody walks up and tells you to kiss their ass, how you gonna feel about that? You're not gonna keep going back to that person saying, "Hey, Mr. Governor, how can I talk to you?" No. Any human being with common sense is going to walk on and find another way to get stuff done. We haven't done that yet. And until and look, and this is no slight to anyone that's out there, they're doing these protests. That's fine. But at what point do you start reevaluating your tactics? What can we do next? Okay? I saw somebody that posted a meme the other day that said, hey, look, Target and Kroger's will honor all Walmart discounts. And it was posted by an LRSD person. Take your money to these stores. That's great. But you know what? Before you do that, you need to understand what Kroger's is invested in. And Target. Okay? When you're going to shut down a city and make a point, everybody got hurt. Even you. And if you're not willing to hurt for your protest, then you don't believe in your protest. I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Dang. You coming hard.
I'm tired of all this whining and complaining about asking a white state, a white city who clearly doesn't give a damn about black people to help us. Okay? I'm tired of black people going and asking and begging for help when you spend $1.2 trillion every year annually. You can get your weave done, you can get your nails done, but hell, you won't even shop at a black business. I'm tired of it. The problem we have is you. You want to fix the problem? Fix your damn self.
Damn, Dave, how you get mad at black folks all of a sudden? Put the knife away, Dave. Stop stabbing folks in their chest. Jesus, black
Tired, man. I'm tired.
Hey, man.
We can fix this problem. I refuse to believe that the people that charted the stars. I refuse to believe that the people that built the pyramids. I refuse to believe that the first people in mathematics, the first people in medicine. I refuse to believe that my DNA cannot fix the problem with black children. I refuse to believe that. I am not going to let anyone tell me that. I want black people to stand up for black people. Period. Stop carrying the water for LGBT. Stop carrying the water for Hispanics. Stop carrying the water for every other ethnic group but yourself. You spend more money, you boycott your own damn businesses. Come on, man. I'm sorry. Woo-saw. See, my vacation is already worn off. Thanks, Robert.
Man, you can't, you know what? I've been in court all day, man. So this is the one rule I'd have. This is the only rule I'd have. And everybody, please don't hold on. Everybody, please don't hold this against me. Don't hold this against me. But it's just that today, don't hold this against me today. Just don't hold this against me. Because this is just the way I'm feeling today. So the only way, Dave, that I would agree with what you're saying is that we had the right to kill certain folk. And I do mean murder. I mean by just shooting them in the head and killing them.
See, here you go on that purge thing
I'm
again.
just letting you know.
Here you go on that purge thing again.
It's some black folk that they just got to die. Right? I'm sorry. Y'all gotta die. You sellouts gotta die. I don't give a damn. You gotta go.
Drop squad.
Right? No. Drop squad sends them back. I'm talking about the murder squad.
Okay.
They done. We done with them. They out of here. Right? We just put them down. Just like dogs. We just put them down. Now, if we can agree to do that, I'm down. I'm down with whatever. Because I can't do it because if these folks can be going back and telling stuff and doing stuff and working for folks and smiling and cheesing, dude, you're getting paid off of my oppression. You profit from my oppression.
Yeah.
You profiting from my oppression.
A whole lot of them.
Line you up and blow your brains out. That is your sentence. Your sentence is death.
You know, Tim Scott in South Carolina said that the impeachment of
He should be the first one.
The impeachment of Donald Trump was like the death penalty.
He should be the first one. You should line them up. There you go. And that should be like a nice announcement. Like, what is Tim charged with? Tim is charged with selling out his folks.
Oh, God.
Selling out the brothers. Do the brothers concur? And all the brothers get up and go, yeah, we down with that. We down with that. Put him down like a dog, player. Put him down like a dog, right? Right? And everybody be cool with it. But they have somebody come out and sing a little song for him. You know, like maybe another one bites the dust, or you know, we find some nice Tupac hit, let them play while they do what they do, right? And then we ask the brother, "What's your last meal?" This is the thing now. This is what's on the menu because you can't pick your last meal. So this is what's on the menu. You can have some ribs. You ready? You got some ribs
with rib rub.
With Dave's Magnificent Rib Rub, or you can have some bologna. Bologna sandwich.
Fried or natural.
Either way.
Okay, can I get some crackers or maybe some vanilla wafers?
No.
Okay.
You're going to either have to pick sandwich spreads or mayonnaise. Because if you pick mayonnaise, they're going to cut you with paper for 3 hours before they shoot you in your head.
You've really been thinking this out.
Yeah, we're thinking it out, baby. Now, so you don't get to ask for no bread. The only thing we're going to let you decide if you want sandwich spread or mayonnaise. And if you get mayonnaise, it's pretty much over.
Sandwich spread is pretty nasty.
And the third thing you can eat, you ready for the third? You got some chitlins.
Oh, no.
That's it, man. That's how it rolls, baby.
I can't eat chitlins.
Can't get no blacker than that. Now, if you take the chitlins, what we will do, because we know how them chitlins give you gas, we will let you live a couple of extra hours so you can experience the gas. You feel me?
No, because I've never eaten chitlins, so I don't know about the gas.
Okay, well, fine. But that's the way it's going to work, player. That's the way it's going down.
Wouldn't feel you, but we'd probably smell you.
Yeah, that's the way it's going down. You can get it. You can be down with it. Just know we got something for you, player.
Well, you know, that's well and good, but back to the practical world, that we can't do that.
Who said we can't? They doing it anyway.
Well, they're doing it to us. We're not.
Yeah, they're doing it to us. Well, we can't kill our own folks if they're killing us.
But
So is what? Only certain people can kill us?
look,
We limited who can kill
I'm
us
just
now?
simply saying that I am not condoning taking anyone out on this show.
You're not condoning it?
But I understand.
Everybody, let me make sure I explain this before Dave do this. I have the same theory about killing folks as America. Did we just celebrate killing a dude 3 days ago? Did we not? He was a threat to America, right? So if you got somebody who's a threat to my America, don't I have a right to kill him?
We need to quickly go to break.
How so? How so?
I don't know what happened to Robert in court today, but we're going to try to find out in the break, and we'll come back. Okay? You all right, Rob? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go. We'll be right back. Okay? You're listening to Black Focus Radio on JoyNetRadio.com.
It's going to be a good one. We had 24. What happened?
It'll go up and come down.
So why didn't they give us a state like it used to?
That's just I've got to scroll down. It's further down.
The law offices of James F. Swindoll provides our clients
you
the
can zoom
personal
into
care
that.
and attention that larger law firms cannot offer. Our experienced attorneys have brought hundreds of cases to verdict in state and federal
Looks
court
like
and recovered millions for our
this up here
clients.
tells
If
you-
you or a loved one have been injured
the
or
majority
have
of these
property
people are
wrongfully damaged, we may be
coming
able
from
to help.
the Little
Do
Rock
not hesitate
area.
to contact our firm anytime
Arkansas area,
for a
so this
free
is mainly
attorney
local.
consultation. Call 1-800-848-1290. That's 1-800-848-1290.
coming
Or
from Arkansas.
email inquiries
They're
at
probably listening through the-
arkansas-personal-injury.com. Our law
listening
offices
to
are
the
centrally
Joynet app right
located
there.
at 212 Center Street in Little Rock.
I mean, the website
That's the
and
law
these others
offices
are the
of
apps.
James F. Swindoll, personal injury and products liability attorney serving Arkansas since
lost a few there.
1977.
But it goes up and down.
Mitchell
So
Funeral
that's
Home
down to
welcomes
6.
all of Arkadelphia and
It usually goes down after 1
to connect
o'clock.
with a family
Yeah,
owned
because
and
most people
operated
listen.
service
We get the
provider
majority
in
of our
Clark County
listeners
since
during
1966.
the lunch hour.
At
Yeah.
Mitchell Funeral Home, they understand that the funeral is a celebration
that's
of
where
life
they
and
are.
legacy. So the entire staff takes great pride in the caring, personal, and professional services they provide. Cremations, funeral planning, burial policy, life insurance, notary,
So whomever
and
this
monument
is-
sales are just a few of the services they offer. Flexible packages are available as well.
They've
Mitchell
been
Funeral
listening
Home
for quite a period
appreciates
of
the
time.
trust and confidence placed in them and will continue to enhance their
And I
services
think this-
so
this-
as to
this-
serve you better.
this
Call now.
Germany
Get
person,
connected,
I think they just leave the station on, period.
870-246-2611.
As soon as
That's
they get up.
870-246-2611.
Because they're here every day.
Call,
Oh,
click,
okay.
or come by.
And see, they think we haven't been on for 6 hours. They've been listening 6 hours.
Let's walk through this together.
You see what I'm saying?
870-246-2611.
Whoever that is, they tuned in to, they tuned in
to Rizal.
Mitchell Funeral Home.
Hi, this is Alvin from Habibi's 4317 East Broadway in North Little Rock. We still have the green top at your very next stop. The same great service, but more of it. Give us a call, 501-663-1553 or 664-2992, or call our toll-free number, 1-877-HABIBI-1. Diapers, pull-ups, hospital beds, wheelchairs, Simply Fit, diabetic supplies, underpads, and more. Your durable medical supply center.
LeBron James is the greatest player we've seen this generation. You have to be careful when you start saying, as always, he went as good as Michael, but he went as good as Magic. Every generation you get that. You begin to sound like that
see, it's
old
back
man
up now.
that lives down the street, and every time you walk on his yard.
I see some people will, when you go to break, they'll tune out. And the majority of them,
Join the weekly sports magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m.
and the majority of them are
on
still
JoyNetRadio.com.
coming from Arkansas. So that's a good thing.
You got it. He's Little Rock's answer to your aggravation. Joy Network.
Now,
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of the show. The purge is over. We probably need to sound the purge alarm because you okay, man? You feeling better?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm just tired of people. I'm just tired of having to feel like I gotta apologize because I feel violence. Because I talk about violence. You just had people on Facebook this other day lighting it up about us killing Abadaddy or whatever his name was. They lit it up. So why I gotta feel bad about wanting to kill people? I mean, explain that to me. Come on, explain it to me, Dave.
Why do I have to explain it to you?
Because we're happy. We love talking about people getting killed. Mm-hmm. I mean, when Osama bin Laden got killed, people's on their Facebook page posting and being all gracious. Why I can't do that? Yeah. Oh, my bad. I can only do it when somebody tells me it's okay for me to celebrate this cat being killed, right? I want to decide who I want to kill and how I want to celebrate.
You all right?
I'm great. I'm in America. I'm in the greatest place in America.
Okay.
I was going to say something bad. I'm at Jordan. I'm in the best place in America.
There you go.
What else can I say, Dave?
I'm glad to know that you're feeling better.
I'm feeling fantastic, my friend.
By the way, the Little Rock Police Department has announced that they got $194,000 for body cameras.
They got $194,000 for body cameras.
Uh-huh.
I wonder where they got that from.
Well, let's see. I'm looking at the article here. Let's see. It's a grant. The grant requires matching funds from the city.
Okay, so let's explain. Let me explain something to people about grants, right?
Okay, can I finish the article
first? Go ahead.
The exact number of cameras may be purchased. That will be purchased will be determined by the camera model and data storage plan chosen by the police department. However, 150 is the target quantity, according to Mayor Scott.
150 for $194,000.
How many police officers do we have?
535. There are some officers that wouldn't have body cameras unless they do patrol, of course. Okay, so you wouldn't give it to a detective.
So how many people? Well, you should.
No, you wouldn't give it to a detective.
You should.
Yeah, well, most of the people who are shooting unarmed black men are patrol officers.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about,
but they're doing the body cams for the patrol officers because they're the ones who often come the most in contact with with residents in that respect. Because your detectives usually when they're going out, it's not saying it couldn't happen, but usually those situations are a lot different.
So that's almost $400,000 on body cams. That should be more than 150.
I think it's important that we understand that they're giving them a grant to get the body cams. Mm-hmm. But do you understand that somebody has to maintenance and maintain those body cameras? Now, you're going to say to me, Robert, are you saying that body cams are not a good thing? No, I'm not saying the body cameras are not a good thing.
Robert, are you saying that the body cameras are not a good thing?
The body cameras are not a good thing. What I'm saying is that if we get a body camera, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the grant pays for this round of cameras, but you still got to maintain them.
Yeah.
You got to look at those ancillary costs that we ain't even talked about. Where are those going to come from? Because this is the thing that people fail to realize. You ask for one thing, the city gives it to you, but you never ask them where you're going to take the money from to maintain this. Well, because it's got to be maintained.
Well,
we don't even know what that maintenance cost is yearly.
In the case of the sheriff, Eric Higgins, he specifically said that he rearranged his budget to make sure that they could get body cameras.
Okay, so if he rearranged his budget, you know what that means, right? I took a little from here, I took a little from there. The thing is,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
We've never asked the city of Little Rock where they're taking from. Well, for me, it is.
Well, wait a minute. Well, let me tell you why there's nothing wrong with that. We know for a fact that most of these budgets are overblown, to say the least.
You like to think so.
Because I mean, I've been in budgetary meetings, and every year at the end of the fiscal year, what are departments doing as it relates to their budget?
Tell me.
They're spending money. You know why they're spending money? Because let's say, for instance, you budgeted for XYZ for $100,000 for that fiscal year, and you only spent $75,000. Guess what happens? When you turn in your numbers, when you go into the next budgetary cycle, guess what you're going to get? You might want $100,000 again, but the comptroller is going to say, well, you only spent $75,000 last year. Why would I give you $100,000 this year? How are you going to justify it? So we know for a fact that these budgets are overblown, and that's what I just said happens in every company, in every city government across this country, okay? So we know these budgets are overblown. If you want to find the money, most cases you can find the money. It's just to have the will to do that. Yeah, you're going to cut from some things, but First T didn't need that money. You get my point, right?
Yeah, I dig what you said.
Okay, so either way,
you know people gonna be waiting outside to whoop your butt.
Hey, I don't care.
First T, right?
You know, I'm sorry. How many black kids are in First T?
I don't know. I've never seen any of that when I go to play golf, but I only go to play golf once.
So my point is that, you know, I think, you know, after Eric Higgins came out with the body cameras the other day, I think the pressure was on the mayor to come up with something, because he's been saying that, hey, we're going to have body cameras, and, you know, it's been quieter than the church mouse as it relates to body cameras lately. So $194,000, they have to double it. So you talking close to $400,000. I think you make an interesting point. I thought the point you were going to make is, who are those black vendors? Are they buying any of those cameras from black vendors? They're going to need storage. You know, they're going to need servers. They're going to need storage. All of those things are going to come into play. Now, I know there aren't any black server or storage makers, so they'll probably get that from Dell or whomever their vendor is as it relates to computers. But that should also increase some jobs if you know technology as it relates to handling servers and storage. So, again, will black people or any black people get those jobs? That remains to be seen. But in a roundabout way, the mayor has kept his promise of body cameras. The question is, you know, my thing about body cameras is this: they're great, but what are gonna be the rules that's governing?
Well, let's go back though, because I think I'm glad you're doing that, right? So the thing is that we have to, right now, the city is in negotiation with the police department about their contracts. Mm-hmm. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about all the stuff that these police officers are getting at our expense, right?
Like free health care.
Free health care. Well, that's for all city employees. Mm-hmm. They all get free health care. But I think this year, or in 2020, the city's going to ask them to pay, going to pay 20%. The city's going to pay 80%. They're going to pay 20%.
They should.
And they're complaining about it, but nobody else gives free health care anymore. You know, no other company gives free health care. But what I think is important is that while they're having these conversations and they're doing this right now, I think it's important that we reach out to the mayor, because the mayor and the police chief, I'm not sure, but I think those are the two bodies who are negotiating with the police department. And it's important that we say to them that some of those things we're going to let slide this year, but not next year. So next year you need to save up some money so you can buy your own damn uniforms. I mean, you spend $165,000 on uniforms alone, right? You spend another $200-some thousand.
So let's talk about those uniforms for a minute.
Okay.
So if the city doesn't buy those uniforms, will the city give a stipend for the officers?
No, we ain't giving nothing. Buy your own damn uniform.
Okay, so that's a deduction in salary?
No, it's not a deduction in salary.
It is.
No, it's not.
If I'm having to furnish my own
let's bag up, Dave.
If I go to Burger King, do they give me a burger? Do I get one of them little funny hats and one of them ugly brown shirts?
Let's bag up, Dave.
Okay.
Let's bag up.
If I go to McDonald's,
let's bag up.
What about if I go to Chick-fil-A?
Tell me the requirements for being a Little Rock police officer. Tell me the requirements. What are the requirements?
I don't know.
The requirements to be a Little Rock police officer.
Need to be white and hate black people.
Okay, that's it. If you have to have a high school diploma,
Right.
And you have to be 21.
Right.
Okay? That's it. Now, you're going to make $40,000 starting out.
Okay.
$40,000 starting out.
Okay.
All right, that's cool. Now, I'm paying $165,000 for your uniforms. Plus, I'm giving you an education bonus, right? I'm giving you money to go to school. Plus, I'm giving you a longevity bonus, and I was incorrect. I think it starts at the 5-year mark. Everybody who's been there 5 years gets a longevity bonus. For the last 5 years, we paid $2 million in longevity bonus money, right? Okay. Now, you are currently, if you are just a new employee and you just started working, with all the incentives, you're making about $50,000 a year. Where else in the city of Little Rock can you go with a high school diploma? With a high school diploma.
Doesn't matter why you hating on high school diplomas.
And be 21 years old and you can make $50,000. Where else in the city can you do that?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
Robert.
it does.
It does.
Because check this
so
out.
you're saying just because
with
the person who has
duty-
a high school diploma doesn't have the right to have decent benefits?
Oh, no. I'm not saying that, Dave. Oh,
Well,
no,
what
I
are you
never said
saying,
that.
Robert?
What I'm saying is I don't want to pay for the damn stuff no more. You need, you are making, this is a job.
But here's why that doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because every job you go on that's a service job, and police is a service job, they provide...
No. Let me stop you there, brother. Now, a service job would be a nurse.
No.
Okay. A nurse is a service job.
Okay.
Right? You know why a nurse is a service job? Because a nurse provides a service. If I'm a black man and I live on 22nd and Adams, the police, they do not provide a service to me.
Okay, Rob.
So therefore, that is not a service job. Dave.
Okay, Rob. Okay. Mr. Radical.
I'm just being realistic.
Y'all think
That
I'm
is
the
not-
radical one.
They don't provide a service to me
Okay,
if I am black and in Little Rock. So how can you say that that's a service job?
Okay, so
what about that job to you, Dave, says service?
I will give you that.
Okay.
All right. But the bottom line is that most companies provide uniforms for their employees. So I
went to work for the bank, Dave. They didn't give me a uniform. I provided a service to the community.
I said most companies.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, let's give them the little uniform.
When the nurses you mentioned,
I
the nurses you mentioned,
I know what you're gonna say. They
the
have
hospital
to buy
don't
their own
provide don't provide them uniforms.
I know.
I'm just curious, Dave. Doctors don't get uniforms. Why do police? What makes police so different? They don't save anybody's life.
I'm saying that's a negotiable item.
That's negotiable.
That's what.
Are you saying it's negotiable now? So now you're not chewing on you're not kissing their ass right now. You done? Are you done?
I wasn't kissing their tail feathers in the first place.
How you
I
figure
was
that?
trying to make a point before I continually got rudely interrupted.
All right, Dave. Cool.
Okay, can I make my point?
Yeah, please make it.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that you can use those uniforms and keep giving them the uniforms, but take it away from some other benefits that you're offering. That's how you do that.
No. I want everything I want. Now let me tell you something, Dave. I don't know if you know this or not, but if the police kicks the door in at your house, even if your house is the wrong house,
He better have an iron uniform on.
guess what, Dave? They don't have to. The city don't have to pay for that.
I know.
They can blow your door off the hinges, Dave. Be the wrong house, and guess what they're gonna tell you?
Tough titty.
Tough titty. Good luck. Get it fixed. Now, what I'd like to see is you put that money in the fund. So when you blow the door off the wrong house, or even if you blow somebody's door off, you get their door repaired. People can't afford to do that now. Where they blowing these damn doors off at anyway? In low income communities. Further putting these families in hardship, but nobody's having that conversation either. Because why? It don't matter. Because when you abuse black folks, nobody really gives a damn. But if you abuse somebody white, oh, look out now. You get that, right? So, here we go, Dave. I'm going to do this one more time because I don't think y'all got it yet.
Can I, finish my point?
All right, go ahead.
No, let's go right ahead.
All right, here we go. So, I already told you about...
By the way, you're kind of segueing into what I want to talk about as far as what would you help do to help police fix their reputation? What would you suggest?
What would I do to help them fix their reputation?
Yeah.
They can't fix it.
Okay.
How can they fix it? What have they done? What has the police department itself done? This is the one thing that I really like. I hope the OK program goes to Pulaski County. Because if they do,
Robert's Rub Out Squad.
nah,
That's what Russ called it.
Russ is dirty. Nah, it's got to be far deeper than that. I got to have all that.
You kind of like need a RoboCop in reverse.
Yeah, we got to get it. We got to get it done.
So the reason I was asked, because since we're talking about police, and I plan to talk about this. The question is, if police really wanted to fix their reputations, they would do what?
If they wanted to fix their reputation,
Right.
I don't know what they do if they want to fix their reputation.
Would you play along here? Would you try here, Robert? I know
You
you.
always want me to.
I know you. Look, wait a minute. I know you had a tough day in court today. I know you came out all Black Pantherish and radical.
No, I'm not Black Pantherish. But,
You know,
but let me tell you what I am, though.
We're trying to have a talk show.
I am recharged. Okay.
You are.
And I have to say that I'm charged. Let me tell you why I'm charged.
So that means that you're back being an advocate.
No. That means that
You've been doing a lot of advocating lately.
That means that I'm charged. No, that means that I'm charged. And
Look
I'm
at
even
me,
more
Robert.
so. No,
Look at me.
That means I'm even more charged now to do what I said I was going to retire to do. So
no, you're not.
Sitting in court today and watching this whole process play out, it just said
3 days in a row now.
It said a lot of things to me, right? And the one thing it said to me is that
I know
there
somebody
is no
would make
way.
a great replacement.
There is no way.
Are you in John
this
Walker's
could continue.
district?
There is no way. I'm not running for any more offices.
Are you in John Walker's district?
Hey, there's no way this can continue.
Well, this is something on the side. Are you in John Walker's district?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way that this can continue. And the reason this can't continue.
So if people came to you and said, "Hey, look, Rob.
No,
look,
Dad.
man,
No.
we will put
I'm done.
this money behind you."
No, I'm done. I don't want no part of politics. No part of politics at all.
What if like your grandmama came and said, "Rob, I've always wanted you to be a state senator. Will you do it for me?"
Yeah, if she came back from the dead and told me that, I'd have to. I would have a choice. Unfortunately, she ain't showing up.
I'm just. Well, what if you're like one of your long lost relatives? What if Ryan came up to you and said, "Dad, you know how he likes to talk. Dad."
Making fun of his son. Stop it.
You would be a great role model, and I think it would be great for you to run for office. What if he did that? I would love to follow in your footsteps. We could start a line of webs in state legislature.
No.
Shoot, you're a hardcore brother.
I don't want politics, man. I know where I'm gonna make my impact. But this is the thing. See, you got me all off my topic, man. I was ready to rock and roll.
That's why I write stuff down. Yeah, that's called old man's disease.
But my point here is that, man, we are being abused at every turn, and the police get away with majority of the abuse. And I think people need to understand this, that the reason the police can blow the doors off your house and do whatever they want to do
because you don't vote.
It ain't got nothing to do with you not voting. It's because during slavery or after slavery, this is how they ran you out of town. They didn't send just anybody over to your house to set your house on fire. They sent the police over to your house to set your house on fire and your business. And guess what? You had no recourse. Nothing has changed in that respect.
Well, you didn't have any recourse now, but you do have some remedies if you utilize them.
Like what?
Voting, spending your money.
How voting gonna build my damn house back, Dave?
Well,
if they burn my house down, they tear my house up. How voting gonna get my house?
But if I'm voting for people that's going to be sympathetic
so
to
who
that
you?
issue.
You probably voted for Judge Fleming, didn't you?
See why
you voted for that redneck, didn't you?
See why?
But you know what? Let me tell you something that's interesting. That dude, Russ finna put something up on that little faggot. That dude,
Robert.
I apologize. I've been hanging around Russ too much. Russ got to be saying all kind of craziness. But listen, Judge Fleming gotta go. Judge Fleming gotta go.
Can I read this before you go and then you get back on Judge?
Yes, I apologize for saying faggot. I didn't mean to say faggot. I apologize for that.
Okay, well, you don't have to continue to say it.
That was insensitive for me to say faggot.
Okay.
I should have said faggot.
Okay, we get that.
I won't say faggot again.
Okay, Robert. Golly. Okay. If police really wanted to fix their reputation, what should they do? Because I think this falls right in line with what we're talking about today.
Okay, what you got to fix it?
What if you know what the problem is? You're Chief Humphreys. You know what all the complaints and the problems are.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing you do to fix your reputation?
Fire them all. Clean house, top to bottom. Y'all gotta go. Peace, player.
Well, ironically, that's the first thing on the list. It says demote and remove violent officers. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't think that's too far-fetched. Do you? Okay.
But this is the thing. You never get that to happen. Because...
Let's kind of live in this world right now for a moment.
All right. Let's live in fantasy land.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
What would be another one you think? What would you...
That's it for me. Okay. Just fire them all. And set the building on fire.
But see, this is why this list is pretty damn interesting.
Okay.
Create a national blacklist of bad cops. You don't like that idea?
No.
Why?
Because there are only going to be a couple of things that we're going to certify as bad. So more than likely, what's going to be bad is if you shoot somebody. Or if you shoot somebody.
No, I mean, there are a lot of other...
What? But who's going to determine
Well,
that?
I mean, number one, if you commit a crime...
I'm not trusting police to do anything. I'm not trusting police to do
anything. Can you just play along?
No, because...
Come on, can you just... Right, gosh, what? I'm trying to get you to calm down, so I figured we play a little cop game.
Yeah, that's going to make me calm down. Yeah, dude. You good. Yeah, whatever.
Will you just calm down?
No,
okay.
Make me calm down.
But I think the blacklist would be good because what happens is if a cop does something egregious in Little Rock, they can go to another city and become a cop all over again, and that like what happened in Jacksonville. You had the chief of police that was drunk and ran into somebody's house in his car, got out of his car and ran off. And Jacksonville apparently didn't do their due diligence as far as research. Ended up hiring this nutbag, and he was the chief of police of Jacksonville. So I'm just saying, if you had a national database, just like you have a national database of sex offenders, that way that would keep. Though, number one, I think it would do two things. It would limit those cops who are quick to do bad things because they know that I can't, because like you say, they only have a high school diploma, a lot of them. So they know that I'm not going to be able to go anywhere and be another cop. So I better be on guard on how I govern myself.
I got to go to where I should have been in the first place, Taco Bell.
Yeah, okay, right.
I got to work the drive-thru. Hello, this is Officer Stevens. Can I take your order?
Put your hands where I can see them. Don't make any sudden movements.
This is Officer Stevens. Listen, today we got a special. It's called a jailbird special. It's in honor of me because I should be a jailbird right now. Okay. So because it's me, what you get is you get a Mexican pizza, but the only difference is that all the cheese and everything else is upside down.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Stuck to the paper.
Stuck to the paper.
All right, here's another one. Address the police rape epidemic.
I've been hearing a lot about that. I'm really confused.
It's really been bad, and the reason.
Explain, because I'm not caught up on it.
Well, I saw another story just the other day. Yesterday I read it, where this cop had raped. Was taking this young lady home because her car had messed up, and he raped her while he was taking her home.
He raped her while he was driving. That's a bad dude.
You
mean he raped her once he got into her house?
He took her somewhere else.
And
raped her, and then took her home, and she sued him. And well, they charged him, and he was not convicted. And you remember the cop in Oklahoma who had raped 5 or 6 different women, all of them black. He was white, and no one ever believed that their stories.
So he raped the wrong black
and then he raped the wrong black woman, and then finally he ended up getting convicted. This is a serious problem.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's been multiple stories of police pulling over women and saying, "Hey, if you don't want a ticket, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
You don't want a ticket." And just like many are ignorant of, or you pull over a young lady who has expired tags or maybe drugs in the car. I mean, you remember the show we had where I showed you where that cop raped that woman right there on the side of the road, and nothing ever happened to him. This is a serious problem, and police are getting away with it. Again, these women coming up with these stories are not fake, and because you're getting cameras now, how long has this been going on? Remember the police officer who pulled the tampon out of the lady, called himself cavity searching her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This stuff is going on, man. This is the ugly little thing that we're not hearing about. But unfortunately, just like them shooting someone or raping someone, these police officers not being convicted. Okay. Here's another campaign to end the war on drugs. Because it's really been a farce from day one. It's really been a farce from day one. Okay. No comment on that one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Prioritize non-lethal ways to apprehend non-violent suspects.
No comment.
Why? Robert, this is a talk show.
Because this is crazy, Dave. Dave,
we're trying to help our local finest.
Okay, Dave.
Okay.
We're gonna have the FOP on, I think next week.
Okay.
A week after.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them to think about it and come on the show. We're gonna have them on here.
Why do they need to think about it? Don't they serve the community?
Not everybody wants to come on this show, Dave, because they know how you attack people. You know what I mean? So
does that mean they're listening?
They listening.
What's up, FOP? Y'all some dirty, low down, no good pieces of crap. But that's okay. Y'all can come on and talk to Robert. I'm just gonna give you the evil eye.
I think it's important. I think at some point they'll come on. I think, right?
If they have any courage, it's kind of like Republicans.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Look, for me, if I stand on my values and convictions, I'm not afraid to go on anybody's show. Okay? Invite me. Who's a conservative hack in this city?
Yeah.
Invite me to that show. I'll be glad to go on and debate him. If I stand on my convictions and facts, it shouldn't matter.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
But I will say this. So remember,
and if you're being paid by my tax dollars,
you should definitely come on.
It shouldn't matter.
Well, I'll tell you this. So the guy who's the president of the union, Ronnie Morgan, I really didn't like him when we were in the meeting. I didn't like him. I thought he was an asshole. Whatever else you want to say about it. But man, what bothered me about that was that I remember, the rest of that day, I kept thinking about the guy's passion, right? How he was so passionate about that. And I remember what people used to say about me back in the day. And it bothered me, right? Because here I was doing the same thing that people had always done to me. I was making assumptions on who this guy was based on this one moment in time. I knew nothing else about it, right? I just made every assumption about him in that one moment. And I felt uncomfortable. So I called the chief and asked him would he give me his number. I called the cat, had a conversation with him, and it was really, Dave, I swear to God, if you do it, I'm going to be pissed, Dave. I swear to God, don't do it, Dave. Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it. I had a conversation with the dude, man, and it wasn't bad. Dave, don't do it, Dave. Stop, man. Had a conversation with the dude, and nothing like I thought he was, right? I was, and that's why I think it's great to have conversations, Dave. I swear to God, man. Dave, you really make me sick. You really irritate me, man. You really irritate me.
Go ahead, Robert.
No, I'm done.
Go ahead.
You really irritate me. Why you do that every time, man?
Because.
Hey, all right, I'm finna talk crazy. So put some Tupac on.
Okay, let's finish our little list. We got.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Refuse to arrest people for victimless crimes.
No.
You don't think that would be good?
No.
You don't think that would help repair their okay?
No.
Demand better and longer training for new recruits.
No.
You don't think that would help?
No.
Why wouldn't it?
Because
you're the one that's always talking about training.
Yeah.
They need more training. Ain't nobody having that conversation. They need more training. Ain't nobody having that conversation.
Because this is
holla at your boy.
This is like every other conversation we have, right? So we talk about the training, but we ain't talking about who the hell training them.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man.
It says demand better.
What that mean? If you demand better, hey, okay, check this out, Dave. Let me give you a great example. Great example. You ready? So, Dave, let's say you bring your car to me to get your oil changed all the time, right? And I tell you, Dave, come back tomorrow. I'm gonna give you a better oil change than I gave you last time.
Okay.
You gonna ask me what's gonna be better?
No.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna expect for it to be better.
That's it.
Okay.
That's why it's BS. The better subjective. Nobody can put their finger on what better is and how better looks and what better means. So what does it mean? So now instead of killing 5 black dudes, they only gonna kill 4. That what better is? Who's that better for? It ain't better for one black dude.
Cynical today.
I'm just being honest.
Why you being so hypothetical.
I'm being honest. Why can't I just be honest?
Gosh.
I'm being honest. Why can't I be
Can
honest?
I finish my little list before you just shoot it down? I got one
Yeah,
more to
go ahead. Tell us the last one.
Treat people in their community with respect.
How they gonna know who's in what community? They don't know nobody from the city.
I knew you were going to say.
I mean, how they gonna know?
But that would mean residency. I think this is a good list.
Man, that's a full of shit.
See, why? Come on, Robert. Why you gotta shoot it down?
Because that's just some old stuff so people can sit around and go, oh, you ain't really touching the heart of the issue. Yeah, you should play that for you. That's your music now.
Well, I just thought that was good. Hey, we got a caller. Let's caller. Wait a minute. Let me. Hang on, caller. We'll get with you in just a moment. Let me make sure I have your pots off. Okay. All right, caller. You on Black Focus Radio. What's up, man? Hello? That's you. That's you, caller. Yes.
What up, Tom?
Hey, Tom.
Ken and Robert just sent me the link, so all I heard was the last couple of minutes of you talking about training and oil changes.
Oh, so you didn't hear us talk about the police. Why you not listening to the show, Tom? What's up, man? Why you not listening to the show? The rest of the ball, he already gone on.
I work. I have a job.
And you don't listen to Rush, do you?
No.
Okay. See? You don't listen to Rush. I told you.
I don't listen to Hannity either.
You don't like Hannity either?
No. Tucker is the man. Tucker is brilliant.
Ooh, what Tucker?
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Really?
That's amazing.
You think so?
Literally brilliant. Yeah.
Really? Damn. Hey, you want to buy a house? I got a house I want to sell you.
What the hell does that mean?
You think Tucker Carlson's the bomb? Really? I've never heard you say that before. Well, so when did that happen? I mean...
When did what happen?
When did you start liking Tucker Carlson? I've never seen you post it anywhere ever. So tell me, what's up with that?
About Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
In fact, I just finished his book, Ship of Fools. Posted a picture of me. Told everybody how great it was.
Did you pay for it, or they gave it to you? Does it come with crayons?
He's the head of the GOP here.
Hey, does it come with crayons?
Does it what?
Does it come with crayons? Because I think Tucker Carlson's an idiot. And does it come with crayons? Is it a coloring book?
What would make you think he was an idiot? What has he said that you thought was idiotic?
Just craziness. I can't remember anything now, but I mean, some of the stuff, I'm looking at him like, dang.
Well, he is on Fox.
Because he's conservative. You look at all conservatives that way.
I don't. See, here you go. Now you finna try to have this Democrat-Republican fight with me, and you know that I don't like either one. I don't like either one.
Democrat or Republican. I'm not a Republican. I gave up on the GOP.
So what are you now?
Democrat,
So you're a Democrat? You coming over to the dark side?
Right.
You coming over to the dark side?
You're either liberal or conservative or...
Hold on, Tom. You're not a Republican anymore. You coming over to the dark side, my friend? You coming over here with the black folk? You may get
there's only two.
Tom, can I get you a seat with the black folk? Yes or no?
When you say with the black folk, do you mean the DNC?
Yeah.
No, that plantation's not for me. It shouldn't be for you either.
Jeez. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I just hang out with a lot of Democrats, so I gotta pretend like I'm one.
The one thing I wanted to say about our last conversation, I got cut off right at the end.
Okay.
You asked me if white people, when's the last time a white person was, I don't remember if you said discriminated against, but that was the gist of it.
Okay, yeah, that was Dave, right?
Yeah, and I said yesterday. You guys just started laughing, and then you had to go to a break or something, so I didn't get to, I was talking to myself, I think, at the end.
So what happened? You said you think white people can be discriminated against?
I'm a minority in this town. We've got about 30,000 people. It's over 50% Hispanic. White people here cannot get a job if they're not bilingual. There's a lot of jobs here. You have to be bilingual.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Well, so much of the clientele is Hispanic, and a lot of them are illegal, and a lot of them don't speak much or any English. So you have some bilingual, or tons of jobs here.
So how does that discriminate against you?
I can't get a job because I'm white, but Hispanics can.
So Tom, let me ask you a question. Let's say you live in Silicon Valley and all the jobs are computer related. Are you being discriminated against because you don't know computers? Or would you, or would,
in the South.
but if you follow the business trends, the last 20 years they've been saying that one of the things that you need to add to your resume is a second language. That second language, because of the growth of Hispanics in America.
I kind of agree with Tom on this one.
No,
I don't like this.
Let me
I don't
finish
like
my
this.
point because
You in America, learn how to speak my
no,
damn
no,
language.
no. It's a skill set. If I want a specific job, if I'm
in America and I want a job, I shouldn't have to know no other. I shouldn't have to know English.
It is if you are addressing people that's going to be spending money with your company. Yes, sir.
I don't care if you gonna spend money with me. You should know how to speak
You know
my
what?
language.
I have a rub, right? I have a barbecue rub, right?
You put it out in Spanish.
Exactly. You know what I did to try to capture the Hispanic market in Nashville?
What you do, Dave?
I made labels that was in Spanish because I wanted to sell to them. As a matter of fact, I initially wrote them in Spanish and then had a friend who was Hispanic, had her to check them to make sure that it was grammatically correct. Yes, I did, because I wanted. You say what? I'm pretty sure she did change some things. Yes, that's the whole point. And it's like, look, I'm a writer. You know what I do? When I'm writing a book right now, once I finish that book, I'm going to send it to a copywriter who will go through and check syntax and spelling and grammar and all of those things. That's a skill set.
Optometrist office. Half my clientele being Hispanic, they would have to bring a translator with them.
If you are a receptionist at a optometrist and I'm the owner of that optometrist, I'm going to look for the person who has the skill set that can address that clientele.
See, I think this is a bunch of BS. Let me tell you why, man. Because see, as a black man, y'all want to talk all this craziness right now, right? You and Tom want to talk all this craziness. So let me tell y'all what's pissing me off about this, right? So let's say that if I go in somebody's business and they don't want to deal with me, they tell me, you got to do it the way we want to do it, or we're not going to give you service. But
companies do that all the time.
What?
When you go to McDonald's, what do? They make those burgers one way. When you go to Burger King, what do they say? Have it your way, but no, it's not your way. They make it the way they want.
Exactly, they make it the way they want it. But hold on. So what you telling me now is that I just need to learn. I live in America. I don't need to know Spanish because I ain't going to Spanish land.
What is America?
I don't need to know Spanish because I ain't going to Spanish land.
What is America?
I don't need to know Spanish.
What
I don't
is
need
America?
To know Spanish. I don't need to know Greek. I don't need to know none of that.
What is America?
French, German, nothing else because I ain't going there.
What is America?
I'm going to be in America. That's it.
America is a melting pot.
It ain't my melting pot, hell.
Okay.
In my neighborhood, everybody speak English.
America was built
in my
based
neighborhood,
on
everybody
immigrants.
speak English.
So
everywhere I go, everybody speak English.
Well, that's fine.
So if you come to my country,
go to your neighborhood and get a job to speak English. But if I'm a business owner and I want, it's the same with anybody. Look, that old saying, when in Rome, do as Romans.
You know what? My mama said it was disrespectful to go to folks' house and do stuff that they don't do. So I'm just letting you know. Why you all of a sudden want to let people come in here and be disrespectful to me. Now, Tom, I feel you on that, my man.
Because I'm a business owner, and I'm trying to make sure that you maintain a paycheck. So I require that you speak Spanish.
What if I don't speak Spanish before I come and get the job?
Well, you won't fit the job. Just like if I'm a computer repair operator,
they discriminate against
and you come to my job and say, hey, I need a job, and I'm going to ask you, well, what type of experience do you have? And you say none. Well, I'm sorry, I need a tech that can go out in the field and work networks or replace hard drives. What's the difference?
To assimilate this little melting pot. Let me ask you this. You're a cop. You go to a domestic violence call, and the man is beating up his wife. What do?
Is she black or white?
Why would that matter?
I'm asking because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Is she black or white?
No, you're a cop.
Oh, that ain't going to never happen. But okay, so I'm just saying, if I'm a cop,
We're
right?
in pretend land.
Okay, in pretend land, I'm a cop.
And a man is beating up his wife.
Okay, so let me tell you, let me be real honest. You ready? After seeing what happened to my brother in Minnesota, if I see the man beating up his wife, I'm going to call, if he's white, I'm going to call for backup. I'm not going to try to intervene. You know why? I'm just being real with you. You ready? I'm not going to intervene. Do you know why I'm not going to intervene? Because if it's a white man doing something to a white woman, it ain't my business, because if something happened, they're going to blame me. I'm not intervening. I'm going to make that phone call, right? I'm going to call for backup. I'm going to get my body cam out. I'm going to position my car toward the white folk. Because let me tell you something. You would go to prison for a white woman. You might go to court for a black woman, but you're going to prison for a white woman. See, you see what I'm saying? You get that, right? Now, if it's some black folks fighting.
Say he had a beard.
Tom, you're not dealing with my reality? You're not dealing with my reality at all, are you, Tom?
No, you're changing it entirely. I'm trying to make.
No, I'm not, Tom.
You may.
Tom, hold on. Tom, hold on, Tom. Tom, hold on 1 second. So you are not understanding the reality of me being a black man in a situation, whether I'm a policeman or not. I'm a black man who has grown up black all my life, and I understand what can happen if you try to intervene with what's going on with white folk. You get that, right? Now, if you got if you got a white husband and
being committed, you're going to base it on race as to how you do your job.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, Tom, where did you grow up at?
Police do that every day.
Every day. But Tom, think about what's the guy's name in Minnesota?
Muhammad Noor.
Muhammad Noor shot and killed that
He was
woman.
convicted before he even went to trial.
Before he even went to trial.
Because of his name.
Listen to this now. Robert Noor was convicted. What's his name? Muhammad. Muhammad Noor was convicted for shooting this white woman, right? You get this, right? Now, he was a police officer sitting in the alley, and she approached that police car. He shot the gun across his partner and killed her. You get that, right? Now, let me. Okay, now let me.
About 99 other ones.
But hold on, let me give it to you like this.
They don't fit your narrative. But that has nothing to do with what I wanted to ask
you. Yes, it does. Because you don't
know what I wanted to ask.
Okay, all right.
Let me finish.
All right, Tom, go ahead. My bad. You're right. Go ahead.
Okay. You go out and there's a man beating on his wife. He's wearing a turban and she's wearing one of those hijab things.
Okay.
Your job is to arrest the guy. He's beating up his wife.
Okay.
But now, since people don't have to assimilate, they get to bring their own language and customs with them. He says, no, I'm Muslim. This is allowed. Go away. Do you walk away?
Tom, that's a ludicrous example because you know that does not apply. No, it isn't. That's a conspiracy theory. Okay, we've heard this Sharia law stuff a long time. No, sorry. The bottom line is that if you're in America and you commit crimes, you go to jail. That's the way it should be. But we know that doesn't apply to all people, especially white people. And I think that's pretty clear. Yeah.
I don't have no laws. I'm like America, Tom. Tom, tell me something, Tom. Did you celebrate we killed that dude the other day? We killed that ass, didn't we, Tom? Yep! We wiped him out. That's what I'm talking about, Tom. So, Tom, let me ask you this, Tom. If I can be happy about killing anybody, can I? I ain't gotta pick. I ain't gotta let nobody tell me who I can be happy about killing. You agree with that? So, Tom, in your mind, Tom, just be honest with me. In your mind, Tom, if you felt the need to kill somebody, do you think you should be able to celebrate afterwards?
If I felt the need,
yeah, if you felt the need to kill somebody,
them, is what you mean.
And you killed them, right?
Okay, if I felt the need and I killed someone, should I be able to celebrate?
Afterwards, yeah.
How do you mean be able to? You mean legally?
Yeah, like we've been celebrating killing dude. We should be able to celebrate and not have to worry about nobody being
You
upset.
can celebrate anything you want. You can celebrate a touchdown.
That's right, Tom.
You can celebrate
That's
an
right.
abortion. You can celebrate killing somebody. You can do anything you want that doesn't hurt someone else. Celebrating never hurt anybody.
Well, hold on, Tom. You said something really important there. You said if it doesn't hurt anyone else. Why should I care about why should I care about how other people feel? Well, why is that important to me? Because see, this is the thing that's starting to bother me. Is because see, in America, everybody wants to talk about how somebody else feels. Is it ultimately about what I get from it? Is it ultimately about my peace and my relaxation and my quality of life, Tom? Would you agree with that?
I'm starting. What do you mean by celebrate?
Just like we're celebrating now that we killed that boy.
Words and jumping up and down.
Words and jumping up and down, great Facebook posts, all this kind of stuff. That's kind of cool,
yeah,
right?
but not actually affecting another person with your celebration. Not shooting your gun in the air, not setting off fireworks.
Yeah, none of that. We just celebrate.
Okay. Yeah, just being happy, posting on Facebook, smiling, joking. Yeah, absolutely. That's freedom of speech.
So let me ask you this. You ready?
Yeah.
So what if I...
By the way, in speaking Spanish, freedom of speech, just asking for a friend.
No. Not in America.
Based on who? So you're saying to me that if I speak Spanish, then that's not a freedom of speech to me. No, I'm saying okay, that's what I'm saying. So when you talk about freedom of speech, whatever comes out of my mouth, whether it's English, Spanish, Swahili, whatever, that's my freedom to say that. I agree. Okay.
Okay. All right. So here we go. You ready? Okay. So I want to celebrate my hero because he killed somebody, and I want to celebrate him. And people say that I'm wrong for that, Tom. So I'm gonna tell you who I'm celebrating. I celebrate my man, Mikhail Xavier Johnson. Are you familiar with him?
No.
Okay. He is the guy who killed the police in Texas, in Dallas. I celebrate him because he is my hero. But why is that wrong, Tom? Why is that wrong, Tom?
It's not. It's wrong to my feelings, but it's not wrong legally. No.
But Tom, it's no different than you celebrating them killing old dude, right? He was your enemy, right? Was the Islamic guy your enemy? The founder? He was your enemy, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, the police are my enemy, so why can I not celebrate a man who kills my enemy when that man...
I just said you could.
Okay, cool. So, will you celebrate Mr. Johnson with me, though?
No.
Why?
My feelings are different.
Why? Tell me what's the difference?
The difference? Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh.
Come on, Tom, seriously.
Why did he kill the cop? Is there stuff I don't know about this particular case?
No, because cops were killing unarmed black men, so he decided to kill some cops.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's wrong. I would never celebrate something like that. He's a nut job. He's doing more harm than good.
What? Okay, Tom, let me ask you a question.
Are you saying that it's a literal war? that you're in, black people against cops?
Pretty much. Don't you kind of feel that way? Have you been to court before?
Yes.
And well, in your town, it's mostly Hispanic, right? So
I haven't been to court here.
Let me ask you a question, Tom.
Back
So
in Kansas City.
let's say you went to court. Let's say if you went to court and every time you went to court, all you saw in court was white people. You didn't see any black people, very few black folk. But you see all the black folk up there working. And all the black folk were police officers. How would you start to feel?
Depends on the outcome.
What you mean the outcome?
The outcome. Just because they're there, that could mean something like there was only 11% of white people in that place I was at.
Right.
Yet white people committed 50% of the crimes.
So how did that
Then it
happen?
would start to make more sense. You feel me there?
Yeah, so you're saying that if black people are, that if a bunch of white people are in court, it's because a bunch of white people committed crimes.
That makes the most sense, yeah.
It does. So
Yeah.
So if you got a bunch of white people in court, they're committing a bunch of crimes.
Most likely.
Okay. So let me ask you this then, Tom. So why again can I celebrate my guy, but you can celebrate your guy?
Are you twisting my words? Are you?
No, I'm asking a legitimate.
I said it was fine for you to celebrate.
But why wouldn't
But
you
I
celebrate
don't
my
want to
guy?
celebrate with you.
Why wouldn't you celebrate my guy though?
Why would I? I don't hate cops.
I don't hate him either.
You don't?
No, I don't hate
You
cops.
celebrate when they die, but you don't hate them?
People, you celebrated when a guy who looked like me died. That guy, that Islamic guy, he looked like me. People celebrated that. He was black.
I really doubt you look like al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, he was black. He got a big beard, big bushy beard like me.
Nut job. He wasn't black.
What color was he? Was he white?
He's Arab.
That's black.
It's not a race.
Oh,
It's getting on my nerves.
okay. Are Oriental people white?
Yeah, most of them are. I don't know any Oriental people. Everybody I know is either white and black. I don't venture outside.
That's painful.
Dang, why you so
The whole
quiet?
world is black and white.
It is. But hey, I just want you to celebrate with me,
Yeah,
Mr.
Martin
Johnson.
Luther King is shaking his head in his grave at you right now.
You think so? I don't
I
think so.
believe so. He sounded like everybody was the same. He wanted peace and equality.
Until he realized that he had sold his people into a burning house. Hey, Tom, hey, good. Thanks for calling. We got to wrap up, man. All righty.
Yeah, Tom. Good talk to you, brother. Peace.
I simply don't buy the argument
What?
that white people are discriminated against. I don't buy the
How
argument.
can you say that, man?
I don't buy
Tom said he
the.
was discriminated against. If Tom says he's discriminated against,
He
he's discriminated.
he's upset because his lofty place as white male is being challenged. It's the 2042 syndrome.
You are so insensitive.
They all are. This is
You
what
are
this
so
is all about.
insensitive.
Oh, we've always been on top. Now people are coming in and taking our jobs. Well, go get skilled.
Dave, how dare you? Dave, you're an insensitive black man to the plight of other people.
I have a right to be insensitive because everyone has always been insensitive to my plight. Turnabout is fair play. I don't feel sorry for you. I'm not going to cry buckets of tears for you. Shut up and get in line. And here's what I would really say. And I've had this conversation before with some of my white friends. Is that doesn't it stand to reason that you would make sure that the civil rights laws are in full effect so that you know that by 2042 your people are going to be minorities. So the laws that you pass today with teeth will ultimately end up helping your white people in the future. But that logic doesn't work for some of these white folks. Does that not make sense?
It makes sense.
So if you're thinking that you're being discriminated against today, Doesn't it make sense? Because 2042 is coming whether you like it or not. That's one of those trains rolling downhill with no brakes. You ain't going to stop it, okay? And even if, let's say, for instance, even if you were able to go out and kill every black person except one black male of childbirthing years, he can still repopulate this earth with black people. So you can't stop that train. So it stands to reason that you would go out and say, hey, look, we have these things called civil rights. Let's make sure that they work for everybody so that when we become minorities, they'll work for us. But you're so banal in your thinking and so obtuse in your mind that you don't follow that logic. So I don't feel sorry for you. Oh, woo-saw, baby Baba. We gotta go, bro.
I don't know what to say to you, man. And let me tell you why I don't know what to say to you. Because this whole thing to me is just craziness. You know what I'm saying?
You can cheer al-Baghdadi being killed and those children that you're bombing with United States bombs, but you're upset when someone kills somebody in America? Come on, man. That's a double standard. But that's what you call white people's logic.
Well, I mean,
better known as white supremacy.
I am confused. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, I don't know if we've ever taken the time to understand why these people hate us the way they do.
I'm not trying to understand them anymore.
I'm talking about the guys. I'm talking about is ISIS people.
Well, let me tell you why. All right, I'm little Johnny. Well, I'm little Hussein, and I'm in a school bus, and a bomb rips through my school bus and kills all of my friends and everybody in the market. And when I recover, I realize that the bomb that ripped through that school bus was American made. I don't care who fired it. It was still American made. You get the point?
Yeah, I get that.
All right, let's not play stupid up
But let's
here.
understand why the hate for America is so strong.
Because America is a damn hypocrite.
Or why these people are willing to give their lives to hurt Americans. I think that's important. Because,
well, I mean, look, if you're gonna get 40 virgins when you do it,
yeah. But here we are fighting people who are just as oppressed as we are, and we're celebrating.
That's what white supremacy does to you.
We're celebrating their deaths as though it's a terrible thing.
Pit dark-skinned people against dark-skinned people. That's what white supremacy does.
And here we are sitting in a class. I mean, sitting in a place where, if you go to a courtroom, you will realize how degrading what we're talking about is. I just left a courtroom where you have folks in there, and it is a pure cycle. It is a cycle. It is a very horrible cycle.
Of course it is.
And what's unfortunate is that nobody's doing anything about it. They just profiting from this BS.
All right, so call your quote. The boss coming in
here to get us.
EJ coming in here
to get us up.
He got some work to do.
He putting down his stuff. He coming here taking off his coat. I don't know, Dave.
Man,
I'm finna go.
Well, you gonna do your
he
quote?
He rubbing on himself, Dave. I'm finna go, Dave. He looking for his piece, Dave. Let's go. Let's roll out, Dave.
All right, time for your quote, man.
Why you rushing me up, man? Why you in the mood today?
Because you already.
What I do to you?
We already 2 minutes.
What I do to you?
Look,
Dave, meet me outside.
All right, we'll be off there in just a moment.
Dave, don't be playing.
Well, you just go ahead and do your quote. I got a good one, by the way. Dang. I hope you don't have to look for another one. God, you know, we do this every day.
Hey, all I'm gonna say today is spend money on community. If you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
America was built on two monumental crimes: the genocide of Native Americans and the enslavement of Africans. The tendency of official America is to memorialize other people's crimes and to forget its own in order to seek a high moral ground as a pretext to ignore real issues. Exactly what we were just talking about. A perfect quote.
That was pretty good, though.
Y'all have a great day. Bye.
You've
You've been listening to Black Focus, where we discuss our issues with
Y'all have a
our
great day.
solutions and our voices. Join us every weekday afternoon at 1 p.m. on Joint Radio.